Hi again, everyone. It's Rob Ryder on the 7th of June, 2024. Today, a short video on the military due process mistrial that Stephen K. Bannon should be asking for because Lieutenant Kevin Bannon, U.S. Navy, is still serving. Never been released, sir. And as long as you're serving under the Fifth Amendment, serving during a time of war, which this is, then you cannot answer an indictment. You have to be charged under the UCMJ, not civilian law. And I'm going to show you where that comes from, and we'll see if we can do something with it. I am Staff Sergeant Redlewski Robert Allen, also known as Rob Ryder, and you can get a hold of me at Court of Record at AOL.com. And so, yeah, what's going on? Well, as it turns out, first of all, what's a mistrial? An erroneous trial on account of some defect in the person trying, as if the jury come from the wrong county, or because there was no issue formed, as if no plea be entered, or some other defect in jurisdiction. Well, here's the defect, sir. It's in the Fifth Amendment. That no person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime, unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in the case arising in land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject to the same offense to be twice put to jeopardy of life and limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, property without due process of law. And all these things are happening, so what do? Well, sir, you tell your esquire to go ask for a mistrial order under the All Writs Act, which you can find online yourself, and it's all self-explanatory. What matters is, well, are you in the Navy or land forces, and are you is it a time of war, and are you in actual service? Well, I'm going to show you why you are. Just a second here. So, Lieutenant Bannon, if you go find yourself a copy of the Legion Act that President Trump signed into law in 2019, you would find out that since the end of World War II, the federal government has designated specific periods of time, the dates of which are important for qualification for certain benefits or membership in veterans organizations established by Congress. Lots of reasons it's important, but there's a couple of them. So in between the recognized periods of time, during so-called peacetime eras, the United States military has been involved in no fewer than 12 known eras, which are unrecognized by the United States government as periods of war. So they're just unrecognized as periods of war, but they're still periods of war. Because you can't be a member of the American Legion unless you served during wartime. So if you can be a member of the American Legion, then that proves you served during wartime. And it says eligibility for membership in the American Legion is determined by Congress through the establishment of specific dates of declared and officially recognized hostilities in which the United States military personnel are on active service. So if you can be a member of the American Legion, it's a war. You're on active service. It's the only way you can be in. And you are right now today, sir. But if somebody wanted to question, are you still in the military or not? Well, you could tell your esquire, well, under Title 50 or in national defense, that's where we are, Section 4012, that you can get a certificate of service from the Secretary of the Navy. And in this certificate, it's going to point out all these different issues here. Now, this isn't the piece of crap they get off the line from the DOD. No, this certificate concerned shall furnish a certificate under, or the Secretary concerned, the Secretary. So, Secretary of Navy shall furnish a certificate under subsection A upon receipt of an application for such a certificate. A certificate appearing to be signed by the Secretary concerned is prima facie evidence of its contents and of the signer's authority to issue it. So they often will tell you that they're complying with this, they call it the Servicemen's Act, Servicemen Sailors Act, by pulling off this piece of paper online they can get that has some DOD flunky signature on it. But that's not who we're talking about. We're talking about the Secretary of the Navy can provide prima facie evidence that you are still in the military. And Lieutenant Bannon, I'm sure you're familiar with this, right? But as you can see, this is supposed to be the indictment against you. It's not the United States that brought charges against you. It's the United States of America. But you're not in that jurisdiction. In the United States of America, they believe that the executive power resides in the President of the United States of America. But in the United States, they believe that the executive power resides in the President of the United States. And so that's why the copy of the Constitution that is in the Manual for Court Martials is the Constitution of the United States, where the Constitution that Congress uses, or these people who call themselves Congress, although they haven't taken a proper oath of office. I have a hard time calling them Congress. They did not comply with the 6th article. But nevertheless, them people, their Constitution says it's the Constitution of the United States of America. And in it, it says that the executive power resides in the President of the United States of America. That's wrong. It's in the executive power resides in the President of the United States. So, the whole thing is wrong, sir. And because of that, I took the liberty to write an email to your Esquire, or at least one of them, because I started looking through some of this paper, and I found here, notice of appearance, right, that some Esquire using a fictitious name, right, there is no M. Evan Cochran. He doesn't exist, right? That's it's not a full legal name, just like Stephen K. Bannon is not a full legal name, right? That isn't you. They're trying to make you be Defendant Stephen K. Bannon, but that's not your full legal name. Your full legal name is Stephen Kevin Bannon, or Bannon, Stephen Kevin. Full legal name. Nevertheless, because he was nice enough to put his email address on there, I sent him an email last night. In which I said, Counselor, be advised that Lieutenant Stephen Kevin Bannon, a.k.a. Defendant Stephen K. Bannon, is still to this day and will be tomorrow a service member of the Armed Forces of the United States. And due to current world affairs, is barred by the Fifth Amendment from answering an indictment. The Fifth Amendment mandates no person shall be held to answer for capital otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment the grand jury accept the case arising in land naval forces or in the militia when in actual service. See, it didn't say active duty, it just said actual service in time of war or public danger. So when President Trump signed the Legion Act 2019 into law, he confirmed by his signature that Congress had declared that the United States has been at war continuously since 1941, is now and will remain so until Congress acts to end the war. SCOTUS has ruled in Parker v. Levy, it's 417 U.S. 733, 744 of 1974, just as military society has been a society apart from civilian society, so military law is a jurisprudence which exists separate and apart from law, the law which governs in our federal judicial establishment. And you can see more about this, and there's this report from Congress. It's called the Military Courts Martial under the Military Justice Act of 2016. Lieutenant Bannon cannot be held to answer an indictment, and a mistrial must be granted. So get a mistrial order by using the All Writs Act authority of the court. Regards, Staff Sergeant Ratlewski. And so I'm curious to know, sir, did your Esquire ever tell you that I sent this email to you, right? Or is he concealing the information? Because you know that by definition, an Esquire is an agent of the Crown. They're really not in the United States. In fact, Esquires don't get an oath to be a lawyer. They avoid doing it. None of these people have oaths, sir. Goes on and on and on from the Congress on down, no one has taken an oath to satisfy the 6th Article of the Constitution, or in an attorney's case, they haven't taken the oath to be an attorney. If they have, make them prove it. Show it to you. Show them it's been recorded, registered. I haven't found one yet that'll do it. And so I also went to your site there, Lieutenant, warroom.org, contact, and I filled out your contact paper here yesterday telling you the same thing through your own system. So did your own people tell you? You got to go tell them you demand a mistrial. You can't be tried by an indictment. You're in the military. I go tell Trump, for God's sakes. Right? So, anyways, for the rest of us now, if you're watching this movie, if you would go to this site here after you've watched the movie, the video, right, and then click the link of the video and put it into the message and say, Lieutenant Bannon, please watch this. You need to demand mistrial for lack of military due process. It's all in this right here, military court-martial under the Military Justice Act of 2016, right, from the Congressional Research Service. So if you just Google Congressional Research Service and put in R46503, you'll pop this one up, and it has all sorts of, read between the lines stuff and fantastic information to know if somebody put it to use. And there's no one better than you, Lieutenant Bannon, because you got the biggest blowhorn. The rest of us need somebody like you to do it. There's a whole shitload of veterans sitting in jail today because of stuff that happened on January 6th. They shouldn't be there because it was a time of war and they're still in the military. And so they had to be tried by court-martial. Somebody has to go and file specifications and charges. There has to be, I think it's Article 32 hearing, right? All these things had to happen. None of that happened to you. You don't answer to a civilian court, sir. And the sooner you start harping on that, the better it is for the rest of us. So I wish you would do it today. And I'll just leave it at that. Military due process mistrial for Stephen K. Bannon. Make it happen, sir. Very good. Have a great day.